Hey everybody, welcome back to my house. I hope you had a great week. We finished up our series called Jesus Is last week, where we found out a lot of different things that the Bible says Jesus is, like the Good Shepherd and the light of the world, and a couple others. Today we're going to start a new series, and it's all from the book of James. So what does the book of James say about how to follow Jesus? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Before we do that, I got a video for you from some families from church. They want to say hi to you, so here they are.
Hello, I'm Emily Galindo,
Levi,
and Noe.
and one thing I miss from church is seeing my friends and teachers.
I miss getting hot cocos from the church cafe.
I miss our church family and the worship team. God bless you.
And we hope to see you soon.
Adios, amigos.
Hasta pronto.
Hey City Kids, we're the Worthingtons.
Hi! We've just been spending our summer hanging out poolside. We miss you guys. Hope you're doing well.
Bye.
Thanks, families. Now we're going to sing a song. Today's song is all about how Jesus is the best. So let's sing it together. Here we go.
No greater news, no greater love. His name is Jesus. Come on, we're gonna praise the Son. Jesus is here. Jesus has won. Jesus is life. Come on, we're gonna have some fun. We raise our hands in praise. For you are the one that makes the day. You have set me free. No other place I'd rather be. Jesus, you are the best. Jesus, you are the best. Jesus, you are. No greater news, no greater love. His name is Jesus. Come on, we're gonna praise the Son. Jesus is here. Jesus has won. Jesus is life. Come on, we're gonna have some fun. We raise our hands in praise. For you are the one that makes the day. You have set me free. No other place I'd rather be. J-E-S-U-S, you are the best. J-E-S-U-S, you are the best. J-E-S-U-S, you are the best. I must confess, my J-E-S-U-S, you are the best. Come on! Raise our hands in praise. For you are the one that makes the day. You have set me free. No other place I'd rather be. Raise our hands in praise. For you are the one that makes the day. You have set me free. No other place I'd rather be. J-E-S-U-S, you are the best. J-E-S-U-S, you are the best. You are the best.
Great job singing! Like I said earlier, I'm really excited for this series because I really like the book of James. There's so much in it that'll help us as we learn to follow Jesus. You ever wonder what it would have been like to be the brother of Jesus? Well, James was the brother of Jesus. Do you think they got along? Do you think James called Jesus the best, like our song? Or maybe they called each other names. I don't know. But do you ever blame somebody for something else that you get in trouble for? You ever wonder if James tried to do that? He wouldn't get away with that. It's Jesus. But maybe he tried. So imagine Mary baking some cookies, and she sets them up on the table to cool off. And before you know it, she sees one of the cookies is missing. And she looks, she's like, James, did you take one of the cookies? And James would be like, no, it was Jesus. Mary's not gonna believe that. She knows who Jesus is. Well, anyways, I don't know if that happened. Probably not, but you never know. But thankfully, James was a really good brother, and he paid attention to Jesus, and he knew how amazing Jesus was, at least as an adult he did. So after Jesus went up to heaven, James wrote down all the important details that'll help us and many others to follow Jesus. James was really smart. One of the first things that he wrote down is how important it is to get wisdom. And how do we get it? Do you know how to get wisdom? Well, the answer is in James chapter 1, verse 5.
James 1:5. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking.
God gives us wisdom when we ask for it. And there's a man in the Old Testament, well, there was lots of men in the Old Testament, but the one I'm going to talk about right now was a man who asked God for wisdom, and his name was Jehoshaphat. Try to say that without smiling. You ever wonder if he got picked on as a kid? I mean, Jehoshaphat? Who names their kid Jehoshaphat? Anyways, he became king, and all the kids that picked on him as kids and called him names for being called Jehoshaphat, they probably all got thrown in the dungeon. But that's beside the point. So kids, don't call other kids names, even if their name is Jehoshaphat. But anyways, in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, the king was seeing that this big army was coming to defeat him and all of his people. And the people were really afraid. So they said, King, what are we going to do? You want to know what he did? He did what we should all do. He asked God for help. So God told him what to do, and then Jehoshaphat listened. And because of that, his country was saved, because he had wisdom to ask God for help and wisdom to listen to what God said. God gives us wisdom when we ask too. Remember last week? I showed you my map. Maps are really helpful, as long as you know where you are on the map. Because they have the roads on there, and all the roads show you where they go, what places you can go based on what road you're on. But if you don't know what road you're on, then you don't know where you are. So you need to know where you are in order for a map to actually be helpful to you. God has given us a map. It's our Bibles. But we need to ask God for wisdom so we understand what the Bible means and how to live out what we read when we're reading our Bibles. Jehoshaphat was in a tough situation with the army coming and everything, but he asked God for help. And we've been in a tough situation too, the past 3 months as we've been stuck at home. So we also need to ask God for help and ask that God will help us to have wisdom when we read our Bibles so we can have wisdom in how to love God, how to treat others, and as we follow Jesus, we'll be able to do it as best we can because we've asked God for help. And He wants to help us, but we need to ask Him for help. And then we're going to learn more about the book of James next week. So I'll see you then. Thanks again for coming over. Bye, everybody.